Hello, Jurong Pioneer. This is Mr. Augustine Ng, and today we are going to learn about the global economy. This slide provides you with the overview on this topic. To summarize, we are going to have look at the immense economic growth that the world experienced in the post-World War II era up to the 1970s, the early 1970s. We will examine the roles of various entities such as the US, Japan, Europe, as well as MNCs in this growth. Then, as the Golden Age ends, we will examine the problems of the global economy, namely the oil crisis of the 70s, the debt crisis of the 80s, and the rise of protectionism. You can read through slides 3 to 7 after the lesson to see what will be covered in the upcoming lessons. Okay, while there seems to be a lot, do note that all information can be classified under these four categories. The last category being the most important one, of course. But you can't do that without the third category, which actually affects what you choose to write. This set of lessons would help you understand why the golden age of the global economy from 1947 to the early to mid 1970s happened. Do take note of this question. Assess the view that the golden age of the global economy from 1945 to 1973 was solely or only due to the role of the United States. Do take note of this question. After each lesson, go back and complete the relevant parts of this essay. For now, let us focus on the part of the question that links the golden age to the role of the United States or the actions of the US. As we go through the 6 sections, as marked by the Roman numerals, do consider what role the US played or did not play in each. Now, let's look at these questions. What was the state of Europe after World War II? The dollar shortage, what is it? Why it was actually short-lived? Why? How responsible was the US for the Western European recovery, and what role would this recovery play in the golden age of the global economy? What was the importance of the Bretton Woods system with its fixed exchange rates as set up by the US? What was the state of Europe after World War II? One word, devastated. Now, why was this important to the global economy? Look, Europe was a key production and consumption center in the pre-World War II period, and as such, key to the global economy. World War II had destroyed much of its infrastructure that needed to be rebuilt. So what prevented Western Europe from rebuilding? It needed to rebuild its factories to do so, and this was where it was stuck. The war affected its ability to do so. For example, it needed raw materials, which it couldn't dig up from the ground because the equipment to do so was destroyed. Or a key bridge linking the mines to the factory was destroyed, and there was no way to repair the bridge because the factory manufacturing the bridge repair equipment was out of raw materials, and so on. The US had the raw materials and capital goods. In this case, capital goods means machinery that's used to make other machinery that Western Europe wanted. So it could buy these things from the US. After all, the US had the raw materials and the capital goods. But the problem was that Western Europe could not export enough to buy US goods. This was known as the dollar shortage. I will pause here at this time to let you underline this key phrase. Okay, this is a really bad time to talk about this, but think of what you would need when you go on holiday, say in Malaysia. yes, you will need to exchange Malaysian ringgit. Thus, you will demand for the ringgit by exchanging our Sing dollar for it at a money changer. There was a shortage of US dollars as Western Europe needed US dollars to buy the raw capital goods and raw materials they wanted. But the only thing they could offer was their own currencies, which the US did not want, as the US did not require what Western Europe was selling. The problem was eventually solved. How so? Pause the video at this time to talk to your friend. Hint: it was an American action covered last year. If you have answered the Marshall Plan, well done. Well done to me too. I've officially become Dora the Explorer. Swiper, no swiping. So the dollar shortage only lasted from 1945 to 1948 when the Marshall aid started to flow to Europe. The dollar shortage was something that Western Europe could not overcome on its own due to its bad fiscal state. Thus, we can agree that the US was largely responsible for Western European recovery, which helped contribute to the golden age of the global economy. But keep this space open as we will return to this point when we consider what intrinsic advantages Western Europe had to allow them to recover. This is the end of this recording. Look to the next recording for an explanation on the Bretton Woods system with its fixed exchange rates.